Elders from the Niger Delta met with the president in Abuja, where they made demands for peace to reign in the oil-rich region. The security expert Oladende Ario joins me on State of the Nation to look at what the elders are asking for. Many thanks indeed for coming on the show at this time. Do you suppose that what the elders are asking for, is it feasible? Is it realistic?
Well, it's not the very first time that we're having this kind of demands from I'll call it now, so-called leaders from that region. But the question is, the leadership crisis in the area has continued to emerge, thereby bringing people in, forming pressure groups, doing exactly opposite things, okay, to whatever these so-called leaders might have agreed with the presidency. Shortly, less than an hour after the meeting ended, there was a bomb again somewhere, and then the damage another very critical pipeline.
What signal is this sending?
This tells you that they are not on the same page. Okay, and that has been the trend over the years. The average man in Baramatu has not in any serious manner benefited from all the interventions over the years.
So are you saying
I happen to be a part of the group.
Are you saying that the leaders of the Niger Delta are selfishly pursuing their own objectives, or in the best interest of the people of the area?
Look at it this way. If you want to go back to the history of the Niger Delta vis-a-vis agitation and demand, okay, you will see that the people have still date not any seriously benefited. So the question again is, how did this so-called leadership emerge in the first place? There are leaders and there are leaders. I mean, we've had the Ministry for Niger Delta, we've had UMPADEC, we've had NDDC.
They indeed met with President Muhammadu Buhari, after which the next day we had bombings. And clearly this is not a statement that tells you that they are not on the same page, as you've rightly mentioned. Now, what must be done to get them to be on the right page together?
Like I said, leadership emerge through different platforms, okay? We can look at it from the cultural leadership, is also there. Traditional rulers that are there. The political leadership, okay? Then, of course, the business elites of the area, they are also there. In all of these things, you keep seeing about the same class of people emerging. And the worst situation was what we had with the last government, whereby outright crooks and criminals were empowered, okay? And the consequence now is what we are facing. So they still have to go back, to the drawing table and select real leaders, which of course must include the youths, because the guys in the crease throwing bombs, they are not 60, 70-year-olds. No, they're the young at heart. I mean, the young people there. Okay, I won't go throwing bombs at my age. Okay, so they got to include those young people who truly are facing the punk. Let me tell you, it's so bad that they don't care what happens to the environment, because when you bomb a pipeline carrying crude oil, you are doing more damage to the ecology of the area, right? But they don't even care, because it's gotten to the point where, like, okay, we will not take it. But the question is, if they throw money or more money into that place, will the benefits percolate to the ordinary man in Niger Delta? No.
Why? Why? Because they do not have a structure?
Because the structures are there. NDC has a structure. But the point is, do they utilize the structure? It's been the same issue across Nigeria, where we keep empowered and we have powerful personalities and weak institutions. Okay? Otherwise, NDC was there, they had a nice structure, and they should have done a lot better for the people. What do you find? They are owing a lot more contractors now, despite the humongous sums of money they got. And the question is, how come they are owing? Even the one that they were giving, what did they do with it? And nobody's asking questions. So they must begin to ask questions. Because so much money went into that region, especially during the regime of President Jonathan. So much money went in there. We had a ministry on purpose again for the same Niger Delta. Yet, peace is not at hand. For all I care, we can throw more money into Niger Delta.
So what's the missing link?
So long as
what is the missing link now that so much has been invested there in terms of money and even having a ministry?
Exactly.
What is the missing link?
For as long as you are having your last 11 leading your first 11, you keep on having crisis. They must come up with a local method of selecting leadership. I mean, quality and real leaders, not dealers. Okay, who on the power of representing them go and trade off their rights and commonwealth, and then appropriate all those funds meant for the people, and then empower their own family and themselves. So they must come up with a local or traditional means of selecting their leaders, who, of course, reside among them. They're not Abuja-based people or London or US-based. They live with them. They know them. Let them come up, and then they know that, okay, they mess up, they will be dealt with. Not just bringing strangers from wherever. Fine, they are natives, no doubt, but they don't, if they feel the pain, I guess they would have done better, but they don't feel the pain.
Do you think the presidency trusts the representation of the Niger Delta people? Unfortunately,
I'm not sure if they have access to the Avengers and all the different groups doing the bombings. So they still must deal with somebody or some group. That's why they give them the audience. A little over a decade ago, an oil company took me and others to Niger Delta on a tour. And what I saw was shocking. First, we were taken to a gentleman who welcomed us, and he offered us, he said they would have given us water, but I would not drink the water that he had. Boisterously, I said, look, give me, I will drink. And while we were standing, the man picked the cup, and picked water from the water right in front of his house. He took a gulp and gave it to me. I could not drink it. Are you with me? So if a man like that finds himself in leadership, in this kind of group, I believe he will deliver value as against people who are in very comfortable, who have camps, who have made all the money, they have yachts, they have the jeeps and all of that, who parade as leaders. People whose concern is not the people, but their own pocket.
This administration is quite young, and they're trying, I suppose they're trying all their best to try to right the wrongs.
Right?
Yes. So going forward now, what do you see, say, between now and the next 1 year concerning the Niger Delta region?
Unfortunately, I refuse to accept that the government is young. In governance, there's no vacuum. Okay. No matter how well or unwell the previous government did, they carried the can because they took over power. So they still must be responsible for the state of the environment. I have said it, I'm saying it again. They must evolve. They must come up with a method whereby real leadership will evolve, who can stand in for the people, negotiate faithfully and truthfully, and when funds are released, we'll be there to monitor the application of the funds, such that the people, the natives, will truly enjoy the results of their efforts. Okay? For as long as we see our political leaders whose interests are not in consonance with the people's interests, it's the same problem that we continue to have. I don't want to start mentioning names now of people who held political offices and frittered away money meant for Niger Delta. You and I know them, the public know them, the people also, they know them. But the painful thing now again is that the same people whose commonwealth are being taken away from them, you see them fighting for their oppressors. So where do we go from there?
What are your final words concerning this?
Well, let me go back. It's still the issue of leadership. The territory that region needs quality leadership. Leadership with the heart of the people who care about the people. So if they can come on board and they speak with the government of the day, get funds, and apply the funds appropriately, I assure you, in 6 months, 1 year, there'll be a massive change. Even the people too, their attitude will change. All these bombings, while some of them are genuine, okay, a lot of them are criminals, and they are doing it because the previous moments when they did that, they were giving money, but instead of the money, achieving any value. It only raised more militants, more gangs. So it's not the way.
Oladende Rio, a security expert, I want to thank you so much indeed for sharing your thoughts with us here on State of the Nation. And to you also for standing by and watching. Join us same time next week for another package. I want to thank you so much indeed for watching. I'm Gimba Omar, and bye for now.